I'm now joined by UKIP MEP Nathan Gill, live from Strasbourg. Nathan, evening to you.
Good evening.
This all looks very bad for a hard Brexit vision, doesn't it? As Hague says, push things too far, the Remainers in Parliament overrule you.
It's very sad that the Remainers within the Conservative Party are going against democracy, going against the promises that the Prime Minister himself has made repeatedly at the Lancaster House speech and at many other speeches, which drew in a lot of Brexiteers, that Brexit would mean Brexit, that there would be no customs union and no remaining within the single market. Now, to go against what was written in their own manifesto at the general election is a disgrace. And I think they are the ones who need to look at themselves and say, why are we acting like this when actually 17.5 for a true leaving of the union? Customs union or any single market, we have not left. It's not a hard Brexit, it's not a soft Brexit, it's just remaining and we want to leave.
But Remainers are being pragmatic, they're being realistic, aren't they? We need a softer Brexit, we need that compromise, otherwise there's no deal at all, and surely no deal, that'll be far worse than anything.
The Prime Minister herself said, and I completely agreed with her when she said it, that no deal is better than a bad deal. Brexiteers agree and have consistently agreed that no deal is better than a bad deal. And Michel Barnier himself, the chief Brexit negotiator for the EU, has admitted he's not even negotiating anymore. He's just laying down his lines and he's not moving one iota. Why are we? Why do we keep on bending? Why do we keep on trying to appease the European Union when the people made it very clear what they expected from the Brexit negotiations? And the reality of all of this is that, unfortunately, the people who are negotiating for us do not have this, they're not in the same class as the European negotiators. And that's very, very sad. And it's hard for us to admit as Britons that we're being outclassed, but we are. And they just need to be willing to walk away. Please remember, 95% of British companies do not trade with the EU. They are not affected by these negotiations or what happens. And those companies like Airbus, who you mentioned, who are threatening to leave, it's all bluster. It's not true, because aeronautical imports are not even subject to trade tariffs in any case in the WTO. So what they're saying wasn't true. It was the arch Remainer Philip Hammond getting them to stir up things that were not fake news, basically, that, oh, if we don't bend to the will of the EU, then all hell's going to break loose and companies are going to leave. If they're going to leave, they're going to leave. But quite frankly, if they're true British companies, they will stay and they will make it work.
But Nathan, fighting talk from you, but the British people, are they really convinced now? We had that people's vote in that People's Vote March, I should say, that campaign in central London back in June for a second referendum on the final deal. The tide's turning, isn't it? Many people are changing their minds. They're scared and they want another vote just to check that we really still want Brexit, and indeed to check on the terms of Brexit, just finally.
That's exactly what the mainstream media want us to believe, and it's exactly what the Remainers, who are backed by George Soros, want us to believe. But it isn't true. I meet with people day in, day out. I speak to them, and quite frankly, people have told me so many times I can't even remember that they voted to remain, but now they just want us to leave. And that the way that the EU have treated us, that if there was another referendum, they would absolutely vote to leave. And that's what's happening. We're British. You don't push us. You don't tell us to have a second vote, because we understand democracy, because we've flipping well created it. We've passed it throughout the entire world. And people have adopted our model. And now you're telling us the EU model of keep on voting until you get it right? No, you make us do that. You will regret it, and it will be 65% will vote to leave.
I was told that we were running out of time, but in fact, I do have time for one final question now, Nathan. A lot of talk about May's job being really in the balance now, but the rebels, they will cave in, won't they? This talk of her being ousted, well, that would lead to an election, probably, not just a leadership challenge, but a general election, a Labour government. So surely, in that respect, we've got to go for that third wave, that customs option, haven't we?
No, absolutely not. The time has come when we no longer put party before country. We no longer put individual or individual political career before country. The time has come for the British politicians to stand up for what the people voted for, and if it means that we trigger a general election, if it means that May has to go, then so be it. I am confident that in a general election, that any party that says that they will make Brexit mean Brexit, they will get the overwhelming support of the British people.